Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of the SkimChat. My name is Bryan Russak, and I'm here in South Laguna Beach following one of the biggest skim contests of the year, the Victoria World Championships of Skimboarding here at Aliso Beach. I am with the runner-up of that said contest in Lucas Fink, all the way here from Brazil. Thank you, Lucas, for taking the time with us.
My pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Of course. Congrats on second place. How do you think that racks up to your other contest wins in your career?
Oh, definitely was a pretty good result. It was so amazing to see myself in the final of the Vic, especially because I haven't been to this contest in a while. You guys probably noticed I travel a lot to the U.S. and do a lot of contests.
You're all over the place.
Yeah, but the Vic was the only one that I haven't been in years. It was actually my first contest ever in the U.S. when I was 13 or 14. So I was doing amateurs, and then 6 years. It was 2012, yeah. And then 6 years after it, being able to come back, and then between pros, seeing all those guys that back in the day were they were already pros, and people that I grew up watching. So now being among them and being able to do a final with Blair, which one of the guys I admire a lot. So
yeah, I was going to touch on that
opportunity.
too. Yeah, well, how did it feel going head to head with Blair against him in the final? Obviously a tough competitor in some of the toughest conditions that I've ever seen at the Vic.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I feel I already had a couple heats with Blair. We had a semifinal last year in Oktoberfest, semifinal in Santa Cruz, but definitely my first time in the final with him. So in his hometown, home break was pretty sick. I was definitely trying to prove myself and get that result. Everyone who watched the heat know it was a stacked one. But yeah, it was awesome. It's good to have tough conditions somehow. Of course we all want the perfect waves, but somehow when you are in the tough conditions, it's kind of fun because I was talking with Austin yesterday, and we actually never skim when it's like this.
Exactly. So, that's what I was saying. We show up to the beach when it's like that, and we turn away. We go somewhere else. We don't skim this, so we don't have a lot of practice.
So yeah, it was kind of definitely it was my first time skimming Aliso Valdez Trough, and probably some of the local guys never skimmed it like this. Yeah. So it was pretty challenging, and after you do a lot of hits, you kind of start getting used to it. But we were definitely hard conditions to stick those tricks. You probably noticed at the beginning of the hit, we were all the first 2 minutes, we were all struggling, we felt falling back to back, and then after that we started getting into the mood of the heat. But yeah, it was an awesome one. Definitely will remember that one forever, and hopefully next time we'll get him, right?
Yeah, totally. And you're coming off of the win at Santa Cruz, and obviously some tough conditions there too, some small waves. Do you think that you have somewhat of an advantage in maybe smaller conditions where your technical tricks and your radicalness on the flatland come into play a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely Santa Cruz. I was feeling pretty good in those conditions. I feel when you Brazil is not Rio is not bad wave wise, but we can get on and off. It can be on and off. One day it can be pretty good, and then the other day will be just super shitty. So I feel when you come from a place where there's not many good waves, I feel East Coaster riders probably feel this way too. And you come to a place like California, and then whatever you whatever you get to ride, you just be super stoked on it. Yeah. So it wasn't I feel some of the riders, they were dude, this kind of sucks, and for me it wasn't that bad. I was actually pretty stoked on the waves. And yeah, those were kind of my conditions for sure. It was those I think it was 26 Avid this year, so those conditions were pretty good because you could stick tricks out on the way to the wave, and then do something on when you hit the wave, and then also there was room for tricks after the wave. So I was definitely trying to get all those combos done. So I was feeling pretty good in those conditions. Definitely not the best Santa Cruz you get, but I was doing my best out of it, and worked out pretty well.
Yeah, so I want to back up a little bit. Obviously, growing up in Brazil, a massive country. Have you been in Rio your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised.
Got it. So, I think when a lot of us, here on the West Coast especially, think of Brazil, we think of Sanunga.
Yeah, definitely.
How far are you from Sanunga, and do you find yourself, skimming that wave a lot?
I'm 4 or 5 hour 4 or 5 hour drive to Sanunga, and it's definitely one of my favorite places in the world. Definitely in my opinion, I've traveled a lot and to many of the best skim spots in the world, and since I'm a regular footer, I think Sanunga is the best wave in the world.
It looks so
for sure.
fun for us regular footers.
Yeah, this is definitely the wave where you can get the best barrels ever, in and outs, actual surf the wave, do turns and everything. But yeah, I went there. I don't know. I don't even know how many times right now, but like back in the day, it was kind of hard because I always depended like on my parents or someone to drive me.
Getting a ride.
But yeah, I've been there a lot. Got some pretty good days. But now, like recently, I just got my driver license and my car, so I've been going there like way more than like I used to. So yeah, like this year I've been there already 4 times or something like this, and probably like last year I was there twice or 3 times.
Got it.
It depends on the time. Sometimes we have a lot of contests and then you get to go there a lot. Sometimes you have free time to go like when the forecast is good. But like pretty much every time I see a good forecast, I'll definitely try to go for it.
So growing up in Rio, how old were you when you first started skimming? What brought you into that, in the first place? Do you have a family history of watermen? Are your parents surfers? Anything like that?
It's actually a pretty funny story because like on those like my parents, they're like not at all related to the ocean. Like my mom is from somewhere. It's like in the center of Brazil. They have ocean where she was born, but it's not like a surf place, or it's super windy, good for kite surfing actually.
Yeah.
But she moved to Rio when she was young. But my dad, he's actually from up north, where the like on the state where the Amazon forest is. Not from the Amazon forest, of course, but like he's from the big city where like in this state, the capital, which is called Manaus. But yeah, like he actually doesn't like the beach at all. He's used to like saltwater rivers, so like he started getting used to the beach just because of me, like following me in content and everything. But yeah, they were like not related at all on the skim thing. They always been super supportive, like, and I thank them like so much for it. They love this thing, like with me, loving sports and traveling. Like they're super supportive, but like they weren't the ones who like brought me into skimming. Like actually, I was like 6 or 7 when I first met skimboarding. Like as all Brazilian kids do, like when you're younger, you're just like super addicted on soccer, and that was like my main thing. I actually used to play like on amateur teams, like but doing like contests and stuff like this. And then I remember I was pretty good at it. Like I still play a little bit, like still have some talent. But I remember I just usually got like super pissed because on soccer you depend on like other 10 persons. So I was just trying my best, and I noticed some of the guys, like the kids, were just like not caring at all about this. So like I kind of noticed I needed something like a sport to myself, and that's when skimboarding came up to me. Like some of my friends that lived in the same neighborhood as they had all these wooden boards at the time. And they used to go to the beach a lot, and I recently moved to that place, that neighborhood, and one day like they just invited me to go to the beach, and like I remember it was like sometime closer to like Christmas, which is our summer. So I went to the beach with them. Already skated for like a little bit, so I had like the board riding feeling already. And like my first time like throwing the board and sliding, I just did pretty well, and like spent the whole afternoon in the beach with them, like sliding, doing 360s and stuff like this, just sand sliding. But I got really passionate about that thing somehow in like the first moment. And I remember like leaving the beach, and since I knew it was already like Christmas time, I was like came up to my mom and said, I already know what I want for Christmas this year. And then we just went to a surf shop and got like that wooden board. And since then, like at the beginning I was kind of divided between soccer and skimboarding, but when I got like 10 years old or something, I just had this brilliant idea to go on YouTube and type skimboarding. And I remember seeing videos of like Bill Bryan, George Bryan, like getting siders and waves and getting like those huge barrows. And that's when I noticed that skimboarding wasn't, because at the time I was doing skimboarding for 3 years already, and I thought I was the best in the world just doing 360s and stuff like this. And then I noticed skimboarding was something like way bigger. You could get like ride waves, do like surfing maneuvers and stuff like this. And that's when I like got more interested about the thing. So I started doing research on like fiberglass boards, and since I was 10 years old, so that's when I kind of really got into the sport as a professional thing. So since 10 years old, that's when I got my first fiberglass board. Pretty much never stopped being to the beach like every day. So yeah, it's been almost 10 years of actually like being really into skimboarding. But
got it.
Well, I first met it when I was 7 or 6.
Got it. So you're obviously one of the most technical, radical skimboarders out there today. You're doing the spin tricks, obviously landing almost everything. Where did that come from? I mean, history of skating, anybody that you were close with that, is an inspiration for all that?
We have some pretty good talent in Brazil, like kind of underground riders. people that used to skim like way more back in the day, they're not really into it anymore. And I grew up watching all those guys like Guilherme Vaz, Lucas Gomez, Mateus, all those guys who had the Brazil Kids movies, and also some of the Sananga locals. So they were like my biggest inspiration because I was pretty close to them, and also of course like watching videos of everyone. But I like my main board sport thing was always skimboarding, so like it didn't really come from skateboarding or anything. I think the spin tricks are just something that I like to do, because I feel probably when you watch videos from back in the day, you notice people didn't use it to do like 360 shove-its or even 180s, and I don't know, 10 or 20 years ago, and that's something that probably has been more popular in just skimboarding now. And all those guys from Brazil, they were like the guys that I grew up watching, they kind of were between that transition from like the old school skimboarding to the more like technical ones. So this guy, especially Guilherme, he was one of the like most technical riders, like doing crazy airs and like 360 shove-its out to the wave or on like in the face of the wave.
Yeah.
And that really inspired me. So I remember I struggled a lot to get my first 360 shove-it done, but like after I did it, I was just kind of passionate about this trick. So
yeah, it's addicting
like,
once you learn that
first
one.
So I was really into like doing 360 shove-its whenever you can, and like big spins. Now even the 540 shove-its.
Yeah.
So that's just something I like. Like sometimes I even feel that I go for it too much, but I think it's also because of the contest thing. But yeah, it's just something that I like to do, and once you get practice, like you just get super used to it, and you want to do it like in so many moments of the wave.
So what comes next? What are you working on right now? Anything specific that's eluded you?
I've been trying to like not just get focus and tricks, but get better in everything. I've been working on my turns. Like I do a lot of Pilates back home, and my coach, that like the guy who runs the place that I train a lot, he helps me because he's been working with surfers forever, so he really knows like about like the turn movement. So I've been trying to just get like my turns better, like throw more spray, and also the airs. Like really like to improve my airs, like backside and front side. But definitely I'm trying to keep going the 540 thing, like trying to do it more into like out to the wave, or because it's the game's stepping up. Like if you go to a East Coast contest, you see like drummers doing 540 shove-its and like babies doing 360. You gotta step up the game, and I would really like to start maybe like I've done a couple 720s out the back, but I think probably in the future we'll be doing those maybe out to the wave or after wave. It's definitely something hard. You got to work on your legs, but I just try to get everything better, like step by step. But definitely, the spin tricks, the technical ones, I'm probably gonna improve a little bit more in the future.
Got it. So you've been traveling constantly.
Yeah.
For skimming specifically, what have your sponsors and specifically Red Bull? How has that played a part in your career and getting you to where you're at today?
Yeah, definitely. I would say these 2 past years have been like game changers in my career, because at a moment I kind of find myself like, I know I'm never stop skimboarding, but I was like, should I really like keep going with that professional thing, like get it really into it, or like I'm doing college too, so.
So you were questioning yourself, really?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that moment. I was like 16 or 17. Like I know I never stopped skimboarding no matter what, but I was just kind of like questioning myself if I should keep just getting that focus going. And for a moment I was even kind of like not lefting it by side, but like kind of slowing down a little bit. And that's when Red Bull came up to me. I kind of had a relationship with them for a while. They were talking to me, like it's not something that just show up, you know.
Yeah.
I knew the guys from Red Bull in Brazil like for a while. We've been in touch and everything, but they don't sponsor someone right away. They kind of grew up a relationship. And then I had this going for a while, but it was something that I even forgot about it. And someday, it was after 2015 when I did the whole tour. Not the whole tour, but I did like 4 stops, something like this. They had like 7 or 8 by the time. And I kind of placed well, got a couple good results. I was pretty young at the time, like 15 or 16. Yeah, and then like after you do the UST, you place 7th, like you put a lot of money into it. And I noticed like I didn't got much back from it, so that's why I was questioning myself actually. And then that's when Red Bull came up to me and they offered a sponsorship, and that helped me out a lot. Like I got really into like producing more videos, keep practicing, keep working on it, and since then like I feel like been way more focused than I was before, you know. So that was definitely a game changer, and then other sponsors came by like Hot Butter, all the pizza thing in Brazil that been helping out a lot too. My parents really got into it too. So yeah, Red Bull definitely helped me out a lot. Like, not I wouldn't say money wise, but all the structure that they give me. Like right now, they really want me to see as a world champion and stuff like this. So that's why like the main reason I'm doing the whole UST, because like it's kind of a struggle for you to decide like if you invest your money on like traveling to like Cabo and all those places and just producing videos, or if you just invest your money on coming out to for all the UST stops. So like, you know, like last year I didn't come for any 2016 and 2017 I didn't come to any UST stops, and I was trying to kind of focusing on like just producing videos and my web series and getting the social media thing down. And this year like Red Bull came up to me and they were like, dude, we really want to see you as a world champion, and like what do you think? And I like definitely know that I can do it. So I was just working hard on it, and they've been so supportive, like helping me out, come out here. Exile too, they've been super supportive of it, with the tickets, like places to stay. They've been giving me like pretty much the whole support I need for it. We still need to get like, still like a little, I still put a little my own investment on it, but things been working out. So like,
great.
I would say in the near future I could like be just traveling, like being paid for it, and that's something that I'm really happy to say. Like many skimboarders know how much is a struggle to do it. So yeah, I'm super thankful for all the sponsorships. Definitely Red Bull is one of the biggest ones out there, but all of them have been helping me out a lot this past years.
So you're here in SoCal only for a couple more days.
Yeah.
What do you have on tap for while you're here the rest of the time, and what's planned after this?
After the Fink is always gonna get a little rest, like since I'm going to Villano next weekend. So I don't wanna like waste myself on I know the waves are so good here, so it's hard to keep like not staying away, but like not being in the beach the whole day. If it depended on if I was just traveling here and going back home, I would just be in the beach like the whole day, like 3 sessions a day. That's what I usually do when I'm out here. But this time I'm kind of taking a little slower since I have to travel to Florida and be like 100% for the contest. But Andre is in town, like Andre Magaron. You guys probably know him for all the flashes shooting.
We'll see him later.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm probably planning a couple flash sessions with him, and definitely gonna skim like the next few days. But yeah, after here I go to Florida for the Villano contest, and then go back home, and then come back here for Oktoberfest. Maybe take a little Cabo trip after Oktoberfest. I would really like to. Yeah, last year we got it pretty good after Oktoberfest. He was like on fire. So hopefully this year we'll have the same look. But after this, I'll probably just go back home, keep working, and like I'm taking a semester off college this year since I'm traveling a lot. And probably I have a few projects back at home, like video wise, some other stuff that I'm working on it. So it would be good to like not have to be super focused on college and finally have some time to where he'd be like 100% focused on my skimboarding career. I think this next 6 or 8 months could be like some pretty cool stuff can happen in my career. So
what's the biggest project you're working on right now that you're most excited about?
I'm like right now, definitely like the world title run is a big thing. Like we're only 2 stops, like there's only last 2 stops. So it's about when. I'm pretty stoked on the results I've been getting. Hopefully I'll get even better ones than these last 2 ones. But I have some pretty cool, I'm pretty stoked to be able like just to be free at home. I really want to do a skim camp during summer there. Keep all the grounds motivated. I've been seeing some really good talent back in Rio, like all those kids just showing up, messaging me on Instagram, and like random kids just show up to the beach with skimboards. So that's been like motivating me to like get something going. I'll definitely keep working on private lessons too, which help me with a little money, and definitely the video projects like in Rio. Keep the web series going on, like score some good waves in Brazil, like get some Sonanga trips to work out on it, and yeah, I think that's those are my biggest goals, and really want to work out like hard the off season of contest, so I can like get some money, get maybe a little more sponsorships, and talk to my recent, my actual current sponsorships and
Mhm.
figure out a way to make it happen again next year.
Of
Because
course.
I don't want to just do it this year to USC and like next year not being able to come again.
Yep.
So I really want to keep doing it. So yeah, I think that those are my main things going on right now.
Got it. Well, Lucas, before I let you go, I appreciate you spending time with us. Is there anything you want to say in Portuguese to your fans back home?
Maybe first in English. I'll be like.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. This was my first time giving an interview in English, so it was kind of hard to
Alright.
keep the thoughts going. But yeah, I feel like I get my English is not as bad as I think. So I think everyone will understand everything. So sorry if I miss something or if you don't get anything. It's just because
No worries at all.
I've been working out on my English.
You're
but
doing
yeah. And to my Portuguese friends, para os meus amigos do Brasil, espero que vocês tenham gostado desse programa e acho que vocês deviam continuar acompanhando o SkimChat, que é uma iniciativa muito legal aqui da Califórnia. A galera fazendo um podcast aqui com a galera, com a cena do skimboard que está fomentando, né, todas essas iniciativas maneiras. Então, fica ligado aí no canal deles que tem muita coisa maneira para vocês assistirem. And also, I would like to thank all the Laguna locals and especially everyone from California and from the U.S. for being so receptive and for all their hospitality. I feel I've been coming here for a few years now, but every time I come here I feel more comfortable and everything. So thank you everyone from here for being so receptive and for all the hospitality.
Awesome.
It's not easy to travel all over the world and feel like home sometimes. Travel from another country and come here and feel at home, but you guys really make me feel good here. So thank you very much.
Lucas, you're the man.
You guys are
Appreciate the time and
Thanks
good luck
for
the rest of
invite.
the year. I know we'll see you up for Oktoberfest.
Oh,
And
we'll see each other for sure.
thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Skim Chat with Bryan Russak and Lucas Fink. We will see you next time.
Perfect.
Perfect.